Everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. We're in Atlanta, and we had a good stay in Atlanta. We had an event a couple of days ago, and we sold out in 3 days. So the people in Atlanta are very enthusiastic about financial literacy, wealth building, Black economic empowerment, things like that. So the Black Economic Empowerment Tour, we're also going to go to other cities in the very near future. Obviously Chicago, where I live, Louisville, Kentucky, my hometown. We're going to definitely go to H-Town, down to Houston, love Houston, Los Angeles. Damon Dash is out in LA, so we're going to do some stuff out there. Let's see, Philly, DC, Baltimore, Detroit, New York, of course, Memphis, and a few other places. So, and actually Vegas, ironically, reached out. So, sure, we'll go to Vegas. Okay, why not? So we're going to kind of go to a lot of places. And so generally speaking, if you're interested in having us come to your city and you're connected to an organization that can give us access to a venue at a low cost that will hold at least 300 people, send an email to Andre@financialjuneteenth.com. That's Andre@financialjuneteenth.com. And let us know what you have and what you can do. And as long as we can come in there and do a book signing and, sell our tickets and things like that, then, fine. We just have to make our money back. But anyway, moving on. One of the things I wanted to hit on real quick was I read this interesting article today on CNN.com, or I read it yesterday, actually. I was just a little too sick to say anything about it. And it had to do with this activist by the name of Aislinn Pulley, out of Black Lives Matter Chicago. And Aislinn took a very bold move and she was invited to go to the White House for a photo op, and she chose not to participate. She said, "I could not with any integrity participate in such a sham that would only serve to legitimize the false narrative that the government is working to end police brutality and the institutional racism that fuels it." Now, I love what she did, not because I just think that you should raise hell just for the hell of it, but because she's tuned in to exactly what I mentioned a couple of years ago. I used to get phone calls from the Obama administration about maybe 08, 09, 010. They used to call me on a regular basis. They had a black media guy who would want to reach out and call various people influencers, as we were called, to talk to us about what the administration was trying to do. Now, at first, when you get a call from the White House, at first you're like, oh, cool, wow, the White House, okay, I'll respect that. And so you want to talk to them, and you're thinking you're going to have a back and forth dialogue. You're thinking that you're going to listen to them, they're going to listen to you, you're going to listen to them, they're going to listen to you, and you're going to exchange ideas. But that's not how these interactions go. The Obama administration kind of talked to the black community in one direction. Basically, they want black people to get on board with whatever they do, whether it's quality work or it's bullshit. They want black people on board because we're considered like their little political slaves. This is not an attack on the president, but it does simply make the very clear point that the community's success, the community's well-being, must be put ahead of the well-being of any particular politician, black, white, or otherwise. So if a politician is talking to your community, then they should have some degree of expectation in terms of what they're going to deliver. Why? Because you delivered your vote. You're supposed to get something for your vote. The problem for black folks is that we're so happy to have a black person in the White House that we don't think we deserve anything. We really truly believe that gay people and white people and women and everybody else, women's groups, deserve to get what they want, but we somehow think that we've already got what we wanted because we got a black person in the White House or a black woman in the White House who dresses nice. Understand, a lot of these things are distractions, people. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can get excited because Michelle Obama looks good or because Barack Obama went and did the nay-nay at a picnic. I mean, I don't care if that's fine. Get excited about that if you want to, but understand that we have real issues in the community that have to be addressed, and we can't get so carried away in the aesthetics, in the mind games that are played by politicians, that we forget about the real implications of whether or not there is serious political action. So, here's the other thing about Aislinn that's interesting. I read down the list of people they invited to the White House for this meeting, and it was very interesting. There was a student, Deshauna Ware, a student leader at the University of Missouri Student Protest, which is a new character, a new player in the game. They tend to look for young people who will go along with their program. If they had known that Aislinn was going to behave this way, they probably wouldn't have invited her. They would have invited somebody else who was just happy to be invited to the White House. They tend to look for black people who just love the status of taking a picture with the president or being at the White House. Black folks, we get caught up in the status sometimes, and we don't think about the meaning behind what we're actually doing. The other three people were the usual suspects. Let me see here. Well, the head of the NAACP, it used to be Ben Jealous. Now it's Cornell Brooks, I think that's his name. The head, Mark Morial, the head of the Urban League, and Reverend Al Sharpton, who is about as useful to the black community right now as a piece of chicken with no meat. So you notice all 8 years that Obama has been in the White House, he's invited pretty much the same people to come in to talk to him. Whether the issue was education, it was Sharpton. If it was economics, it was Sharpton. If it was police brutality, it was Sharpton. And what's interesting to me is when you're having a forum where you're supposed to be having serious conversations about the state of economics in the black community, why are you bringing in a preacher? I mean, what does a preacher, why not bring in Julianne Malveaux, who has a PhD in economics from MIT? Well, probably because Julianne Malveaux is not on your payroll. She's not going to just do what you tell her to do. Why not bring in Dr. Claude Anderson, author of Powernomics, who has been working on black economic plans for the last 20, 30 years? He could tell you in 30 seconds, he could tell Obama in 30 seconds everything he needed to do to fix the black community. He literally could. In his books, Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, he would simply talk about access to capital. If you simply made another $1 billion or $2 billion available for black businesses to grow in certain areas, you would literally create thousands of black jobs right there. But if you have a preacher in the room, he can tell you how to pray to Jesus, but he can't tell you how to actually fix an economy. So ultimately, these meetings have to have some seriousness to them. Right now, they're just it's just coonery. It's just a clown meeting. It's a photo op. It's a joke. It's not serious. It's not real. It's not helpful. It's not beneficial. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. It's okay if you don't agree with me, but don't let your argument be something like, why you hating on the black president? Or why you be hating on Barack? Or I love me some Barack Obama. That's not an argument. Make an argument based on facts, information, and policy and what's beneficial to your community, not on whether or not you've chosen to worship a political leader because you think him and his family look good. I think the family looks good too. They are a beautiful family. But when you see all the struggle in the black community, unnecessary struggle, understand this. Much of that struggle continues to exist because we have paid off black leaders who, who aren't doing what's best for the community. They're doing what's best for themselves. The bank accounts of people who are next to the president, black leadership, their bank accounts have done this, gone up, up, up. The whole time that Obama's been in office, they've all benefited tremendously financially for basically selling out the black community. Go look at Byron Allen. Byron Allen, the film mogul, the guy who runs a studio out in L.A. Byron Allen filed a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against the Obama administration for excluding African-American media outlets from the Comcast deal. And one of the things that Byron said very bravely, which I applaud him for, is he said Al Sharpton sold out the black community for a chicken dinner. And what does that mean? That means that they're thinking about the billions that it will cost them to do right by the black community. So what Comcast did was they said, instead of spending hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to do right by the black community, we're going to call up Sharpton or call up somebody else, offer them some kind of deal where they can make maybe $500,000 or $700,000, and that'll save us $100 million because we took care of this guy so that he wouldn't give us any heat about what we're doing. So that's what happens when we trust the wrong people. So I'm not here to talk about Sharpton all day. This ain't the issue. The issue is really talking about the community. And so one of the things I love the most is I love these young activists that are out here. The best thing these activists are doing, the best thing they're doing is they're telling the old folks, get the hell out the way. You've been sitting here doing civil rights marches for the last 30 years. Get the hell out the way. If they talk to me, I'm okay with them saying, get the hell out the way. I ain't as old as Sharpton, but I'm not 22 years old. Just tell them, get the hell out the way so you can do what's right. Because we got too many people who have a financial stake in trying to mislead black people for the sake of the white supremacist power structure, and black people always get put at the back of the bus. So in order for that to change, I think young people are going to be the catalyst to this. An older person like me, at best, I should be an advisor, maybe, or people like me should advise you, give you information so you can make the decisions that are best for you. But in terms of letting older people control your movement, you don't want to do that. Because 10 years ago, they could have called up Sharpton on the bat phone and said, Negroes are getting out of line in Houston. Go down there. Hold a march at a rally. He goes down there, he holds a march at a rally. Nobody knows what they're marching for, but everybody somehow feels like marching is going to make their lives better. So they all march, hold a rally, and then it dies off. And then, Negroes are getting out of line in Detroit. Go hold a march and a rally. He goes out there, gets everybody under control. They hold a march and a rally. Nobody knows what happened. And then finally, everything just kind of dies down. That's the pattern. That's the routine. This year, that pattern was disrupted, and don't think that they're not trying to figure out a way to bring young people back into the fold or to bring them back under control. It's usually going to come in the form of distraction, or maybe some other buying off some young leader who can guide these people into doing things that are better for the power structure. But either way, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right. I mean, that's it. You just got to do what's right. Do what's right for your people. So I don't know how other people feel about what this young lady did in Chicago, but I love it, because here's the thing. I bet you that she will be more than willing to do a photo with the president and the White House if they were willing to do right by black folks. If they were willing to present substantive, meaningful policy, she would probably do this photo op, and I think that she should. I think that when Obama or anybody does the right thing, you should applaud that. You should support that. But at the same time, when they're trying to get over on bullshit, no, you call it out. You call it for what it is, because we don't have time for lies. We don't have time for nonsense. We don't have time for this ridiculousness. So that's all I really want to share with you guys. So I'm going to get on out of here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.